I don't even want to think about it. It's hard, especially a sibling. Like I can't, I just never pictured this. We gonna deal with it. We got a big family. We'll get through it. I'm her. Like, that's my little sister. Like, she a good girl. I love her to death. I'm sorry it happened. Like, senseless.
Case ending in 5130, the charge of murder.
"25-year-old Kiara Jackson, affectionately known as Kiki by her loved ones, was a radiant, compassionate young woman whose presence left a lasting impression on everyone she met. Her family describes her as a kind and selfless soul, always willing to go above and beyond to help those around her. Whether it was a friend in need or a stranger having a bad day, Kiki had a heart big enough for everyone. More than anything, Kiara was a devoted and hardworking mother to her 2 children, a young son and daughter who were truly the center of her universe. Everything she did with them in mind. She poured her heart into motherhood, creating a loving, stable environment filled with laughter, learning, and unwavering support. Her children were her pride, her motivation, and her greatest joy. Raised in a close-knit and deeply supportive family, Kiara was seen as the glue that held everyone together. Her warmth, humor, and natural ability to bring people closer made her a cornerstone in her family's life. She was the type of person who remembered birthdays, showed up when it mattered most, and made sure her presence felt like home. Life appeared to be moving in a positive direction for Kiara. Her children were thriving. Her spirit was strong, and she had a future filled with promise. She had dreams, goals, and plans for the life she was building, not just for herself, but for the little ones who looked up to her every single day. But tragically, an unforeseen and devastating series of events would unfold, shattering the life she had worked so hard to build. What should have been just another chapter in her story became the moment everything changed, for her children, and for everyone who loved her. Just before 4 a.m. on June 11th, Cleveland police were dispatched to Mill Creek Falls Family Park following reports of a shooting in the area. Upon arrival, officers encountered a chaotic and distressing scene near the entrance of the park. There, they discovered an unresponsive adult female lying on the ground, suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. Emergency responders rushed to administer aid, but the severity of the situation was immediately apparent.
Yeah, well, if you take a look behind me, you can see Metro Parks police are still out here. Officers actually came back here to the park around 1:30 this afternoon. About 30 minutes later, completely shut off access to the entire area, a sign that the investigation into yesterday's deadly shooting is still very much active. Just steps away from the beauty of Mill Creek Falls, we found these today. 8 9mm shell casings littering the road into the park near the scene of yesterday's shooting.
Tragically, the victim, identified as 25-year-old Kiara Jackson, was pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to a gunshot wound to the head. Investigators later learned that Kiara had spent the day before with loved ones, attending a family picnic. What began as a day filled with joy and connection ended in tragedy. After the picnic, Kiara joined a group of acquaintances at a local bar, eventually ending the night at Mill Creek Falls Family Park. According to police, the group had been in the park for approximately 30 minutes when the shooting occurred, illegally occupying the area during restricted hours. As the investigation unfolded, police were able to quickly identify a suspect using surveillance footage and advanced tracking technology. The individual was named as 23-year-old Lavia Paul, who fled the scene and went on the run following the incident. As word of the tragedy spread across social media, friends and family posted her photo, urging her to do the right thing and turn herself in. By that evening, Lavia surrendered to authorities, but immediately refused to speak with investigators, instead maintaining her innocence and entering a not guilty plea. Rumors began circulating online, speculating that Kiara and Livia may have shared a romantic history. While this has yet to be confirmed by Kiara's family, the suspect's silence and the lack of clear witness statements have left the circumstances of that night shrouded in mystery. In a press briefing, Chief Stillman shared a chilling detail. As far as I know, there was no real altercation of any type. There was no loud screaming or yelling. People on scene said they just heard a gunshot, and the next thing, the victim was laying on the ground. So what really happened in those early morning hours at the park? How does a group of so-called friends witness such a devastating act, and yet no one can or will explain what led to Kiara's death? Was it a moment of drunken impulse, a personal conflict, or something else entirely? Until Livia speaks or someone in that group finds the courage to come forward, the truth may remain heartbreakingly out of reach. In the meantime, Kiara's grieving family is left to piece together answers on their own, navigating unimaginable loss while caring for the 2 children she left behind. Her young son and daughter will now grow up without their mother, robbed of her love, her guidance, and her presence. And for what? A GoFundMe was created to help cover the unexpected costs of Kiara's funeral and to support the children she left behind. In the wake of such a senseless loss, the community is asked to come together, not just in mourning, but in pursuit of justice and support for a family forever changed.
Paul appeared in court. A county prosecutor asked the judge to set a $1 million bond, arguing Paul was on probation at the time of the shooting and has previous child endangering charges. Her public defender asking for something lower.
Ms. Paul has a high school diploma from Shaker Heights High School in 2020. She's lived in the Cleveland area her entire life. She is not a flight risk.
The judge ultimately set Paul's bond at $500,000.
25-year-old Kiara Jackson was laid to rest in her hometown, surrounded by grieving friends, family members, and a community still reeling from her tragic and untimely death. The service was a heartfelt tribute to a young woman whose life, light, and love touched so many. Just a day after the shooting, 23-year-old Livia Paul appeared in court for the first time. During the hearing, her bond was set at $500,000. The court appearance came just before an official press conference where law enforcement provided limited details about the investigation and urged anyone with information to come forward. The lesson in this story is a powerful reminder that life can change in an instant, and that the people we surround ourselves with and the situations we place ourselves in can have lasting consequences. It also highlights the painful truth that silence in the face of tragedy only deepens the wounds of those left behind. When people refuse to speak up or take accountability, families are forced to live with unanswered questions, and justice becomes harder to reach. Most importantly, Kiara Jackson's story is a call to value life, speak the truth, and protect one another, because sometimes one moment of recklessness or silence can shatter many lives forever. Rest in peace, Kiara Jackson.
I know, but she's sitting at the table.
Danny with Pre-Trial Services.
All right. The first case we're going to call is Livia Paul, charged with murder, and she also has a driver suspended, expired things, and driver seeker needs a plea. She is the married.
It's going to be.
Hold on a second. Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Preliminary hearing date will be set for June 18th.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Although the risk assessment shows the defendant to be a low risk, I will argue, as we just heard, that the defendant has difficulty following the court orders. We have a suspension, driving under suspension, and in our case, we have a 25-year-old female victim with 2 children, 2 small children. And this defendant, while on probation to Judge Baudry upstairs for child endangering, allegedly was by the Creek Mill, Mill Creek Falls area with a firearm. There was an argument, and at one point, allegedly, took the life of our victim. The state will ask for a $1 million bond, cash surety.
Judge, thank you. Judge, as a preliminary matter, Ms. Paul would enter a not guilty plea on the driver cases. Judge, understanding the seriousness of the allegations against Ms. Paul, I would just present a couple of things for the court to consider about Ms. Paul. Judge, she posts low scores on her PSA. She has a 2 and a 2. She has no prior felony convictions. Judge, Ms. Paul has 2 children. Strike that, please. Ms. Paul has a high school diploma from Shaker Heights High School in 2020. She's lived in the Cleveland area her entire life. She is not a flight risk. She lives with her sister. She has stable housing. Judge, we would just ask for the court to consider a reasonable bond.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As noted, the public safety assessment is a 2-2. Driver extension of endangering children in 25. In the U.S. is going to be it 2-2. And, okay. Another case ending in 2544, which is the driver cases, Mr. First Bond. Case ending in 5130, the charge of murder, $500,000 cash surety is the bond. Given that we have no history of violence, I'm not going to request the city. $500,000 cash